Are zombie pirate gunnery mob bombers any good? Okay, these are definitely niche. They bring the fire in the roster, so Dryads beware! They're like an infantry version of the Outriders with grenade launchers, inferior in most respects, but also, niche that they are, they can definitely pack a punch against shielded infantry, a severe annoyance to your other ranged infantry. Is it worth the trouble then? Let's find out! Please like, subscribe, comment, and donate plundered spoils to my Ko-Fi Hidden Cove. All support is extremely valued, especially gold coins. Bombers cost 450 to recruit for 113 upkeep default, which is not high in the grand scheme of things. Ultra gives you 120 entities with 7,560 health spread between them for 63 each. You should glance at these values sometimes, because it helps you understand what area effect spells will utterly delete them. Armor is 15, leadership 35, speed 23, usual garbage. Melee attack is 14, with an attack interval of 4.4, and melee defense is 6. The melee attack is actually a good deal better than usual, quote-unquote, but that's a consolation prize. Weapon strength is 15, the awful archer-like stuff. Charge bonus is 7, mass is 19. Now this special ranged weapon is like the petards in being hoisted by your own petard. Did you know that refers to hand-thrown bombs? Not everybody does. So yeah, these are zombies already quite dead, thus we are less than concerned by the danger posed by their hand-hurled explosives. To them, I mean. Ammunition is only 5 volleys on paper, with a range of 55 max. Missile damage is listed as 16, with 1 base damage and 0 AP for impact, but who cares? Explosive base damage is 12, and armor piercing is 3, with a detonation radius of 3. Reload time is an even 10, but that's a lot faster than handguns or hand cannons. Calibration distance is 50, so it's cough accurate most of its range. And calibration area is 2, so yes, against an infantry blob, you will be hitting something or other. Now, I want you to back up and remember something important. There are 120 undead dudes chucking these bombs. So yeah, they're weak, but it's a lot of bombs. So you have that melee attack so high, quote-unquote, because after you toss the bombs, that's it. It's either melee or sitting this one out. Thus, your challenge is extremely simple. Do such horrific damage with those 5 volleys that early game, low-tier opponents, even ones with silver shields like High or Dark Elf Spearmen, will be obliterated, or at least broken easily. Handgunners have an easier time hurting infantry if they're fleeing with their backs turned to you, obviously. Note that these bombs are flaming attack. Also note that in Silastro's personal army, they also have magical attack. In the Lord Redline skills, Reanimated Marksman provides a maximum of plus 18% ammunition and plus 8% missile strength. Ensorcelled weapons grant rank 7 Hardened Pirate Scum, plus 12 armor, plus 12% missile strength, and 15% spell resistance. I'll refer you to the handguns video for all of the many tech tree buffs that apply. Unlike the handguns and the hand cannons, this is very much not an armor-piercing unit. I mean, there's some, but it's not huge. So while they'll still do reasonable damage to Saurus warriors through RNG, Chaos Warriors of Khorne will be a much harder sell, and give up if it's, let's say, Infernal Ironsword. Also, they'll bomb you back and it'll be game over for the zombies. So rather than AP, what matters overwhelmingly to bombers comes down to base damage increases and extra ammunition. In theory, as in, if you had good cause to do so, you could get 1 or 2 Gunnery Whites and use them to bump up the ammunition back to max, but that presupposes you're getting value from the extra ammo, and that depends. Extra ammo by default, so that you have 6 or 7 volleys instead of just 5, does greatly affect the potential impact of this unit because they will run out of ammo in any reasonable battle scenario. As for how you use them, the choices are even more stark than usual. They can arc over fellow zombies, but that creates a lot of risk. Ideally, they blanket an area around a friendly hero or single entity monster. A useful compromise, more appropriate for the budget admiral, is to use them with animated hulks or rotting leviathans in the way. In a number of armies, you could use sirens. In a Silastra army, this will utterly annihilate your sirens due to magical attack, and the sirens having loads of physical resistance and no armor. Well, it also means your bombers will be unusually murderous on any other faction's ethereal units, so long as they're not single entities. We come back to the real question. Are they worth it? Well, they're niche for a reason, but your enemy determines if they're actually worth it. You can, of course, say, why would I bother? I can just bring mortars. Well, sometimes that's not convenient. Also, you're probably a lot less likely to have shots blown up by trees with bomber units. Well, the bottom line is that yes, it's hard to use the bombers well, but they're also a lot less expensive. And even bombers are harder to wipe out than mortars in a lot of situations. Within 50 meters, they're actually pretty accurate. Bombers obviously stand to be decimated by many opponents. But what can they obliterate? Well, that's basically any low to mid tier infantry in the game. And they'll beat up quite a few light cavalry too, given the chance. Dread Spears? Bleak Swords? Lothern Sea Guard? Skaven anything not Storm Vermin? Then you can turn things around in a hurry. Bombers are a formation breaker unit. They're not cleanup. They're not super heavy hitters. They are there to scatter chaff and force units to turn around. Are they good at that? Goodness, yes. There's little better in the roster from tiers 2 to 4 for clearing space around an engaged hero. The flip side is that it's pointless if other tools are good enough for you in a given scenario, and Lizardmen bringing Cold Ones and Horned Ones in bulk makes this unit a lot less useful. But for standard garrisons, human infantry short of greatswords, for that matter, just providing a little more help against even heavy armor. They're fine. And they're also cheap, so you're not overinvesting. Take care, and have fun hoisting the enemy on your petard. It's much more fun that way.